Buongiorno, buenas tardes, and good afternoon to everyone. Today we have another interview with Silvia Loreggian, the geographical queen of the mountains, and together with Professor Carlos Cortez, we are going to interview her, and we are extremely glad to have her here in our Women's Geographers Corner. So, Carlos, you can start with the introduction to Silvia.
Silvia Loreggian nació en Padua, Italia, en una familia de amantes de la montaña que le transmitieron su pasión por viajar y por conocer la alta montaña desde bien pequeña. Estudió en la Universidad de Padua y Venecia el grado de Geografía y Turismo, en total consonancia con sus dos grandes pasiones, las montañas y viajar. En la actualidad, Silvia trabaja como guía alpina en la UAdivulga. Vive en Chamonix y divide su tiempo entre su trabajo y numerosas expediciones a Alaska, Nepal, Patagonia, los Alpes, el Karakorum y la cordillera del Himalaya. En 2024 participó en la expedición Alca-2, que conmemoró los 70 años de la primera ascensión a la segunda montaña más alta del mundo. Durante esta expedición, el equipo estudió la nieve y el hielo del Karakorum, para comprender la incidencia del cambio climático en la región. En 2025 recorrió 1.500 kilómetros en bicicleta por los Alpes para su último reto, escalar las 7 South Face. Fundadora de la empresa Alpine Vibes Mountain Guide, junto con Stefano Ragazzo, su compañero, ofrece experiencias individualizadas de escalada en roca y hielo, esquí, alpinismo y freeride, ascensión en alta montaña, en especial en la zona de los Alpes y los Dolomitas, y también por otras partes del mundo.
Bienvenida Silvia. Now I'm going to introduce her in English. We didn't know which language to use. She speaks quite well Spanish, very well Spanish, but she wanted to do it in English. So Silvia Loreggian was born in Padua, Italy, into a family of mountain lovers who passed on her passion for travel and high mountains to her from a very young age. She studied geography and tourism at the University of Padua and Venice, in keeping with her two great passions, mountains and travel. Silvia currently lives and works as a IGMDA mountain guide in Chamonix, as well as participating in numerous expeditions to Alaska, Nepal, Patagonia, the Alps, the Karakorum, and the Himalayas. In 2024, she took part in the K2 expedition commemorating the 17th anniversary of the first ascent of the world's second highest mountain. During this expedition, the team studied the snow and ice of the Karakorum to understand the impact of climate change on the region. In 2025, she cycled 1,500 kilometers through the Alps for her latest challenge, climbing the 6 south faces of this mountain range. Founder of Alpine Vibes Mountain Guide, together with her partner Stefano Ragazzo, she offers tailor-made experiences in rock and ice climbing, cross-country skiing, mountaineering, and free riding, especially in the Alps and the Dolomites, but also worldwide. So, as we said, welcome here and benvenuta al ángulo de la geografía.
Thank you. Hello to everyone, and thanks for the introduction. And thanks for doing this interview in English. It's just a bit easier for me, and so let's go with that.
No problem. Okay, so we always start with two questions, which are common to all our interviewees. The first one is, when did you realize you wanted to be a geographer?
Well, it was a surprise because the summer I had before the choice of the university. So I finished my college and I had 3 months of holiday where you can have time for think about university. And there are many people who already have the idea of what they want to study. Since 2 years, they already know they want to become a doctor, they want to become whatever. And me, I had no idea at all. And it was suddenly in August, and the inscription for the university was in September, I discovered the geography university, because I didn't know it exists either. And it was a little bit a surprise, because I was on a kind of holiday, not really holiday, but something like, in Latinia, which is a little town close to Rome in Italy, center of Italy. And this place had a hard story, because the place was completely covered by the water in the past, but just before Second World War, during the fascism epoch, it has been, all the land has been reclaimed, and so then they call people for working family to build their family in that place. With this, the area grow a lot, and after the agriculture, they start putting a lot of industries, and there was 20 years where the refinery problem, the chemical elements that the industry were producing, were creating very, very bad problem to the people, and so the area get empty again. And so when I was there for this kind of holiday, I get in touch with a really good group of scientists and geographers who were trying to rebuild the life in this area. And I was very interested by the job of the geography in this kind of problem. And thanks to that, I discovered this profession, and I was attracted by the possibility to understand all the problems of a territory and trying to find the best solution, which is not the solution, it's just what is the best option we have. And so this is a little bit the story of my geography study.
It's a perfect story. It has a research question, it has a problem, it has an area, it's perfect. So the second question is, once you finished your studies, did you know that you wanted to specialize in?
Not really again, because even when I start the study, I don't really have the idea of what does it mean, this job. So I had a few different ideas. Then I did a master, which was more oriented to tourism. So I saw a little bit this perspective. But then again, suddenly I discovered a new profession, which is the mountain guide. And I was working in tourism for 2 years after the degree. And I just understand that I could not spend my time in the office. The job could be very interesting, but I cannot stay in an office. And so I changed with something different. At that moment, I thought it was something completely different, because actually it is a completely different profession. But at the same time, I think it has a lot of connection with geography, with tourism as well. And so I had like a suddenly illumination of something different.
So when we read about you, we saw that your two passions are mountains and traveling. And how does your knowledge in geography influence the way you understand and plan the routes or expeditions you organize? And do you think you bring something from geography or different to the world of mountaineering because you have this background in geography?
Yeah, I think that my background as a geographist gives me a different perspective of the world or of any new place that I explore with my mountain activity, because I am always attracted by finding the differences, but at the same time finding the similarities. And I remember that when I started studying, I like a lot that we were studying the systems of the world as a big system, like societies can be like this, or the geology can be like this, and every place has a mix of all these elements. And so even if we go somewhere very far and very different to do also something very different, it's interesting for me always finding the similarities in between different places. So I don't know if this done make a difference in how I act in the mountains, but for sure I'm always very attracted by known locals, know the local system, how the people are used to do things there, and then me, I want to do as they are doing if I am a foreigner visiting the place. So it's not just that I go there because I want to see or because I want to climb that mountain. It's also because I want to really take the good habit from locals for doing the things there. So maybe it's just on my character, I don't know, but somehow I feel is interest is a little bit background also from my university studies.
And I think this is very human. It's not just going to the mountain because you want to climb it, but also the connections between the society or the community who lives on that mountain or on the slopes or in the surrounding of the mountain. So of course, having a look at your Instagram account and seeing the places that you have visited, how do you feel about being able to access places that most of us cannot? And we won't be able to get to many of the places that you have seen and you have visited. So imagine that as a geographer, you may feel it differently or with a special touch, can be.
Yeah, well, for sure, I feel extremely lucky with the things that I do. And yeah, it's a kind of privilege because it's not just having the opportunity or having the money for doing that kind of trip, but it's also that you have to have the skills and the experience for seeing such a wild and like extreme places. And so I also think sometimes that I deserve that because I'm working very hard to have the skills and the experience for that. And I think on one side, everyone could do that, but at the same time, you need a lot of passion and a lot of work to really experience that kind of things, because if you look from outside, it's a big privilege, but when you are really there, is everything except comfortable. Is always a lot of suffering, a lot of physical effort, and I don't complain at all, because for me it's what I like to do. But yeah, you need to like this to also enjoy the wilderness of some places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to to get to the places that you did. So we were thinking about the older or the first geographers, the female geographers, and already in 1892, the American geographer mountaineer Fanny Bullock Worman explored the glaciers of the Karakoram mountain range. So when we read that you were there too, so we got this connection. Since then, more women have followed in her legacy and entered the world of mountaineering. But do you think mountaineering is a man's world, or has progress been made in recent decades in making women's work in high altitude sports more visible?
I think that the situation has changed a lot, probably in the last 10, 15 years. So we are more women every year, more women exploring high mountains or doing mountain activity in general, but it's still a more male community. I think it's just normal because in the past there were no women at all. So now the number, we will have to say that probably in 50 years, if we are with the same number proportion. I think now women are doing more and more, especially more outdoor activity in general, not so many extreme mountain activity, maybe because is in any case is a little bit more complicated. I don't want to say that is more complicated for a woman, because it's not what I think at all, but with the idea that a woman is looking a little bit more for some comfortable around her, something like a family, a need of stability and the house, something like that. It's hard to really live this experience as a part of your life continuously. But I think many things are changing. It's not true that there are more women with these needs than more men. It's just a habit from Western society, and only people from the West, normally West in the meaning of rich part of the world, have the opportunities to build all the skills and experience necessary for doing that. So I cannot consider the less rich part of the world, but me in these last years, I also was part of many projects just with the woman, and there are more and more, and for sure they want to we want to be more active in this, not really for same something, but just because we feel the same instinctive than many men. So maybe we are just more free than in the past to follow what we want to do and not what we have to do.
I think, in fact, the trip to Karakoram was just a solo female trip, can be? Was it that?
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm. And was it different? Because I think I also watched one of your interviews, and I think you were saying something that you were also curious about the dynamics of the group, just being female. Was different from the previous trips?
It was a little bit different, but then I think this kind of trip was not the real example, the real experience of only female, because in a place like K2 base camp, there are many people, more than your little group. And so we yeah, we started that we were only women, but then we became a big community of people, and we were mixed with everyone. Also, during the ascent of the mountain, you end up for climbing with people that you meet there because they have the same pace than you. You will sleep at the same spot that night. So I don't really experience the only female group that time.
Mm-hmm. So I think that this mixture of geography with tourism is perfect for the interview and also for the job you have. And we wanted to ask you, and you also said that when you went to the Karakorum, there was very many people climbing it. But do you think that in the present years, have you noticed a change in the mountains from a climatic point of view? Like the retreat of glaciers or with the tourist use of these spaces? I think you have been climbing basically all your life. So have you seen differences, and especially, for example, in the Himalayas, and we have witnessed the growth of so many non-mountaineer people who are also climbing it because they can pay it, and they have conquered the whole world. So okay, even if they are not a mountaineer background, they want to climb the Everest. And we have seen many of these images in the TV news that there are traffic jams and so much chaos that they are also producing this extreme amount of people there. So both things, if you have seen a change from the climatic point of view and also from the touristic point of view.
Yeah, I saw many changes, and I think it's impressive because you say that I'm climbing since all my life, but actually I start going to the mountains with a conscience of what I was seeing and doing maybe when I was 16, 17. And so it means it's just 20 years. And in 20 years, I am seeing many changes. So it's even more impressive because it's a short time. It's not really a long time. And in my concrete experience, what I see a lot is the retreat of the glaciers, because this makes a big difference in the approach to the route in the mountains, to the difficulty of the routes in the mountains, to the planning, because you need to do something really with a specific timing, otherwise it's very dangerous. And the retreat of the glacier together with the rock falls in the mountains is a big connection with the global warming. And in the last years, really maybe the last 2 years during summer in the Alps, we have so many rock falls due to the permafrost scioglimento, not retreat, well,
Melting.
Melting. And yeah, and it's very dangerous. And with this, I think what it changed is the planning of the mountaineering activity, because I see a big difference in between me and people of my age, that we started mountaineering with this kind of situation, and people with a lot of experience, but from the past, like with the experience of 20 or 30 years ago, that they act very differently, because they keep acting like they were acting in the past, but things change really a lot. And a big connection that I see, for example, with tourism is more during winter, and speaking about Nordic ski tourism, because it's since many years that the snow is always less, but the business for Nordic ski is always growing. And this doesn't make any sense for me. They keep building a lot of ski resorts, and new ski slopes, for keep going with this business, because it's a big business, but is because they don't they just put the money, but they don't really do what the climate tell us to do now, because there will be less snow every winter and for a shorter period. So we need to do artificial snow. We need to, I don't know, we will have to renovate our way of thinking about the tourism in the mountains, considering the climate change. And the bad thing is that in many situations, money and business is the owner of any decision. And so, for example, with this, they are keep going with a direction which is not the good direction, in my opinion. And I think, yeah, it would be nice that all the people who goes to the mountains with with some consciousness could also act against these bad habits, like ski when there is the snow, and climb when you can climb, but don't force the environment just because you want to do that. Or
Exactly. You are completely right. I forgot to ask you also that you are also a tourist agent in the mountains, so in somehow. So we would like to know how you integrate sustainability and respect for mountains, for mountainous territories into your projects.
Well, in many different ways. Some easier ways, which are just my normal habits, like leaving no waste, or trying to reduce any placement not necessary, this kind of normal actions that everyone can do, not only in the mountains. Then I think some decisions that I take are quite important. Like I travel quite a lot, and also far away. But when I travel, is always for a long period. I don't take 15 hours of flight for staying 10 days or 5 days in a place. If I do such a big travel, is for 1 month, 2 months. So the impact of my travel is also a little bit integrated with the experience that then I'm gonna live there. Or, well, sometimes I also choose to travel locally. Like last summer, I did this project in the Alps because I want to recognize a bit more the local mountains we have. And the idea was to spend 1 month with zero emission at all. So we did all the traverse, the cross of the Alps by bike and by foot and by climbing. And this was a way of acting, but also a message to say you can do that. Is we don't really need always to do really big trips for having a big adventure.
Thank you. And also you are in a position for inspiring other people, so it's great. Yes. So what difficulties did you encounter when setting up your own company, Alpine Vibes, and how did you overcome them, if you have, of course?
Well, the bigger difficulty was for sure finding the clients, because it was a new job for me, and it's difficulty to communicate that you are doing that now, and so people can find you. And I think, yeah, this was the biggest difficulty. So it was more a business difficulty, and I start to improving thanks to the word of mouth, some internet job with the website, with the social media, etc. So little by little, after a few years of job, the business grow for sure. And so yeah, this was the
because it's more tailor-made trips, like very specific with few people, and just design it from just like the client wants, right? So just for finishing, before we start with the last question, so what advice would you give to young people, especially women, who want to pursue a career in mountaineering or geography applied to tourism and nature?
I would like to say, just do it, because if you have a passion, you have to follow that passion, and somehow you will find a way to live thanks to that. Is for sure it's easier to think about a different career where you already see how you can get it, like I study this because for sure then I will have this job, and I already know what is this job. But at the same time, if it's not what you like, then you will suffer all life. So I think for me, I start with geography and I have no idea of what the job will be. Then I start with mountain guide, and I discover little by little what the job means. And then now, yeah, I'm doing the alpinism, which means just be very creative and try to realize any big dreams you have in the mountains. So somehow, if you like something, the suggestion is just do it. It can be that sometimes you don't understand anything, but sometimes you do. And so you will enjoy.
Yeah, I think if you have a passion, you don't need to work anymore, because you enjoy so much working that it's like, I think we did it, we said in the last interview that if you have a passion and you are passionate about the way you are working, you don't need to work anymore. It just comes fluently. So
Yeah.
we always finish with some questions, and I think we know already more or less your profile. But we want to know, for example, if you have a reference, a historical figure that you admire, that you inspire you to pursue your goals.
I think that I have more alpinist inspiration, but some alpinists that they have a really exploring way of doing mountaineering. So one of these is Walter Bonatti, he died a few years ago, who was a very good alpinist at the beginning, and then he became an explorer and a journalist once he got tired of the like the bad talking that there were about his achievements in the mountains. He wanted just to quit everything when it was still good for him in his memory what he did, and he did really some great things in the mountains. And then he left everything for exploring the world. and he has always been a big references for me, not just now that I am an alpinist, but also in the past, also when I was just studying at the university, because he was a real traveler.
Yeah, like a traveler of the past. A historical scientist?
Not really. No, I try to think about this, but I have no answer. It means that I don't have a reference.
Okay, don't worry, we can skip the question. So, a role model in your development as a geographer?
I think. Sorry, say again the question.
A role model in your development as a geographer? So, someone from geography, can be female or male.
Okay, I think my teachers, plural, at the university, because actually I don't really know more geographies than my university teachers, and so I get inspired a lot by them during my studies. And then unfortunately I didn't keep meeting geographists in my life, so they are still my reference for that.
Very nice. A recommended book or reading?
Well, always speaking about geography and exploration, the book Endurance. And it's funny because I studied in Università de Alicante the year that I read this book. So I have this memory now that I speak with you, that I was reading the book in the park of Università de Alicante. It's the story of Shackleton, the sailor. It's a very good book.
In fact, we know you through Carlos Cortez, the teacher, because he told us that you were also a student at the University of Alicante, and we love your profile, and that's why we also wanted to include you in our Women's Geographers Corner. A typical dish from your hometown or village?
This is very easy because my third passion is cooking. So this is a good question. Bigol in salsa, which is a really thick kind of spaghetti with a sauce that you make with onions and anchovies. It's very good.
Anchovies. I really love anchovies. I will search it. And for finishing, an unforgettable route or place to visit?
Alaska.
Everyone. Alaska.
Yeah, no, Alaska glaciers. So everyone can go there because you fly there. There are these little airplane that drop you really in the middle of the glacier, and it's a place that you have to see. It's very, very nice.
Far away. You could have chosen something from Italy that is more reachable for us from Alicante, but we will have a look at this in internet. I don't think I will go to Alaska, but at least I can check it in internet. Silvia, mille grazie per l'intervista. Thank you for the interview, and also thank you, Carlos, for letting us know that Silvia was a student of the University of Alicante, and she has such an amazing experience in life. And yeah, thank you for everything.
Silvia, grazie mille.
Prego, grazie a voi del coinvolgimento.
Mille grazie e buona fortuna in tutte le tue travessie, in tutti i tuoi viaggi.
Grazie.
Ciao, ciao.
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 Silvia, ya hemos terminado, ¿eh? Muchas gracias.
Bueno,
Te deseo
a vosotros.
que vaya todo muy bien en futuras expediciones y tengo que ir a los Dolomitas, que lo tengo pendiente ahí.
Ah, sí, ahí es increíble. Son las montañas más bonitas del mundo, yo creo.
Muchísimas gracias.
Sí. Bueno, gracias.
Adiós.
Chao.
Adiós.